Okay. So far we have covered develop project charter. We have seen identify stakeholders. So those two came in the initiating process group. In the planning process group, we saw develop project management plan. Then we saw collect requirements and we saw define scope. So in the previous class, we saw what is a product scope and a project scope. We saw the difference between those two. Today is a very interesting session and a small session. So we are going to talk about create WBS. WBS stands for work breakdown structure. Okay, so let's get going now. So work breakdown structure comes in project scope management. So the knowledge area is called project scope management. Now what is the definition of a work breakdown structure? It's a deliverable oriented hierarchical decomposition of project work within the project scope. See, in the last class we saw what is a product scope. A product scope is nothing but the functionalities the product has to achieve. And what is the project scope? The project scope is what work will be done to ensure the functionality of the product. Now, once you know the scope of that particular project, you have to break down that particular scope into meaningful parts. That meaningful representation of the project scope is called as the work breakdown structure. So now you have to understand that whatever is there in the work breakdown structure, that itself will be there in the scope. That means once you have made the work breakdown structure, I will show you the example of a work breakdown structure. You will understand that very clearly. Once you see the work breakdown structure, whatever you see in the work breakdown structure, that itself is nothing but the project scope. And it represents team buy-in. The team has to actually approve that particular work breakdown structure. Inside the work breakdown structure, you have a concept called work packages. So work packages are at the lowest level of work breakdown structure. See, as I told you, work breakdown structure is a hierarchical representation. Hierarchical representation means it looks just like an organization chart. Every company will have an organization chart. Like you have the vice president. Under the vice president, he will have board of directors. Under board of directors, he will have program managers. Under program managers, he will have project managers. Under project managers, you have team leads. Under team leads, you have employees. See, this is called as a organization chart. We also call it as an hierarchical organization. Now, when you look at the hierarchical organization, the last element or the last portion of your hierarchical organization is called as a work package. So, in a work breakdown structure, it is actually organized in the form of an organizational chart, but the leaf part, the end part of that particular work breakdown structure is called as an work package. Okay, you will understand this very clearly when I tell you an example, but know what is the definition of a work breakdown structure. Now, how do you create this work breakdown structure? So, we have been following this process right from day one. Now, the output I want to get is a work breakdown structure. If I want to get that output, I need to have input and I need to have tools and techniques. So, input, tools and techniques and output, ITTO. So, what are the inputs? I need to have a project scope statement. This is already ready in our previous class. We have designed a project scope statement. The project scope statement was an output of a defined scope process and requirements documentation. This also is ready with you because you have done a process called collect requirements. Now, you have project scope statement in one hand and you have requirements document in another hand, and you have a OPA. OPA stands for organizational process asset. It is nothing but a template, that's all. So, every organization will have its own template. So, my organization will have a template for a work breakdown structure. Your organization will have a different template for a work breakdown structure. So, I have to follow the template of a WBS. But in order to create that WBS, I need some input. So the input is actually the project scope statement and the requirements documentation. Now once you do that, there is only one tool and technique, and that tool and technique is called as decomposition. Very important. What is the meaning of decomposition? Decomposition means breaking down deliverables into smaller and manageable components of work. See, we also call it as divide and approach method. Let me give you an example. We call it as a divide and approach method. See, I have a problem. This is my problem. Now what I do is I break down this problem into three parts. So I call it as, say, problem 1, and I call it as problem 2, and I call it as problem 3. Now what I do? I find solution to this problem 1, solution to problem 2, and solution to problem 3. So what I have done, I have broken down the problem into three parts, and I found solution to individual problems. This concept of breaking down the problem is called as decomposition. So if you want to give me an example, let's say that you want to basically construct a house. Now I have the problem of laying the foundation. Now if I want to lay the foundation, there are different problems to that. The first problem is I have to level the ground. The second problem is I have to do the marking. The third problem is I have to dig. Now leveling the ground, I have some set of resources to do. I have to have resources for leveling the ground. Probably you may have to get a bulldozer and level the ground. So you have a separate set of resources for digging, and you have a separate set of resources for marking, and after marking you have to lay the foundation. So like this. So this concept is called as decomposition. Now what is the meaning of decomposition? You have a major deliverable. What is a major deliverable? Major deliverable is actually nothing but laying the foundation. But that laying the foundation will have sub projects or phases. That is, leveling the ground as first sub project, then digging is another sub project, then going ahead and putting the iron inside the underneath the ground, and then building with blocks of stone. They are all sub projects. So this is what you mean by decomposition. So decomposition basically means dividing the problem into number of sub problems and attacking each problem individually so that you arrive at a solution. Now this is exactly what we do in a work breakdown structure. So the project scope statement, what you have seen, is nothing but the work to be accomplished in order to bring out a product deliverable. But how are you going to achieve that work? We are going to break down that work into manageable components. And once you break down that work into manageable components by decomposing it, so that manageable components what you get is called as a work breakdown structure. So now what are the outputs? See, you are getting so many outputs. The first output is called as WBS, work breakdown structure. It is a graphical representation of the project hierarchy. Then you have one more output called as a WBS dictionary, where you have details of each component in WBS. So we will see what is the difference between a WBS and a WBS dictionary. Then you have an output called as a scope baseline. That also is very important. What is a scope baseline? It is a combination of multiple things. Now you have a project scope statement with you, then you have a work breakdown structure, then you have a work breakdown structure dictionary. When you put all the three things together, it becomes a scope baseline. We will talk about this also. And there is a project document updates, because when you are doing a work breakdown structure, you may have to sometimes update the requirements documentation. You may have to update it. So we also have a project document updates. So all these are the outputs of your WBS. So what are the inputs? The inputs are the project scope statement, requirements documentation and the organizational process assets, and the outputs are going to be work breakdown structure dictionary, scope baseline and project document updates. So, we will see one by one how it is actually done and implemented. Now, what does this WBS dictionary include? So, you have got so many things in the WBS dictionary. So, it will have one code of account identifier, very important, we will talk about this. It will have the work description, it will have the responsible organization, it will have list of milestones, it will have associated schedule activities, resources required, cost estimates, quality requirements, acceptance criteria and contact information. So, these are some of the things which are actually there in your WBS dictionary. So, I think you will understand this when I show you an example. First, see what is the meaning of a scope baseline. See, very important document as a project manager. What is the meaning of a baseline? Baseline is nothing but a one kind of an indicator, like what is the scope of your project. See, you have a time baseline, you have a cost baseline and you have a scope baseline. So, scope baseline will basically tell me what is there within the scope. So, in order to get the scope baseline, project scope statement is there is no doubt about it, but project scope statement will not give me clarity in terms of work modules. So, along with the project scope statement, I need to have a work breakdown structure, and along with the work breakdown structure, I also need to have a work breakdown dictionary, and all the things put together is called as a scope baseline. So, how do we create this? Now, let us take an example. See, I have a project. Now, this is my project. Now, what I am going to do? I am going to divide this project into two sub projects. This is one sub project and this is another sub project. Now, this sub project can be again divided into two subtasks. This is one subtask and another subtask. And these subtasks will have work package 1, work package 2, work package 1 and work package 2. Now, these are actually the job to be done. Work packages are nothing but the job to be done. Similarly, for this sub project, you have two subtasks, and these two subtasks will have work packages 1, 2, 3 and 4. So, what exactly is the work package? Work package is nothing but the job which has to be actually accomplished. And this work package, if the job has to be accomplished, what and all is required? That job would require a resource, that job would require a time, that job would require a cost, that job would require quality. So, all these things we have to document. So, the whole idea is decomposition. This is what I am trying to tell you. The whole idea is decomposition. I took the project, I decomposed into two sub projects. The sub project itself is further decomposed, divided into subtask, and each subtask I am further dividing it into work package. Now, the question is how long you will divide, how far you keep on dividing. You keep on dividing till you find that there is no more further option for not dividing. That should be the last criteria for dividing. So, once you have arrived at a work package, if you find that further dividing may not add sense, till there you have to divide. So, this is a simple example of a work breakdown structure. But again, this gives you a simple format, but we haven't taken any example. Now, what I will do is, I will take an example and show you how the projects are divided into sub projects, and how each sub projects are divided into subtask, and how each subtask are divided into work packages. Okay, now let us say that you are creating you are filling a vacant post, okay, in the organization. This is the project. You are filling the vacant post. Now, to fill the vacant post, I have got three criteria. So, these criteria are taken as sub projects. One is the job, because the post will basically have a job. Then you need to find the candidate for that particular job, and finally you have to do the selection. Now, what is that job? That job will have a need and it will have a job specification. So, That means you have this as sub-project and sub-project, and you have sub-task and sub-task. So what are the sub-projects? The job is one sub-project, the candidate is one more sub-project, and the selection is one more sub-project. The job will have two sub-tasks, identification of the need of the job and the specification of the job. Similarly, the candidate will have two phases, attracting and shortlisting, and the selection will have the interview and post selection. Now what is the need? In the need, you have to find out the budget, you have to find out the options, and you have to get the approval. All these are called as work packages. And identifying the job description, timing, and person who is responsible for that particular job is one more sub package or one more work package. Attracting the candidates, you have to do advertisements. So maybe you have to post that particular ad in Indeed, Naukri, Master, that is one more work package. You have to give the location. Then once you start getting the resumes, you have to shortlist based upon the criteria. Then you have to review the biodata, then you have to do shortlist. Then you have to call them for the interview, you have to shortlist the venue, that is the work package. You have to perform the interview, that is one more work package. Then you have to tour them, then you have to decide. Then post selection, you have to work out with them the terms, and then you have to give them the induction program. Then if they are staying in some other place, you have to relocate them. So like this, you are basically dividing the entire project into number of sub projects, and each sub project will be divided into number of subtasks, and each subtask will be divided into number of work packages. So this is called as the work breakdown structure. See, this is a real implementation of a work breakdown structure. See, now you have a project summary. Okay, you have the design phase, programming phase, and the testing phase. Now in this you have all these milestones. Okay, now you have the work packages, start milestone, design task, all these are nothing but work packages. Observe that in the work package I am also mentioning the hours and the total cost. So here also I am mentioning the hours and the total cost. Here also I am mentioning the hours and the total cost. So these work packages basically contain not only how many hours are required to perform that particular task, it will also contain what is the cost required to perform that particular task. So this is a simple example of a work breakdown structure. Now this is called as a WBS dictionary. Now this is very important. So what is this WBS dictionary? I take one work package. So let's take this work package. For example, say I have a work package called advertising content. This is my work package. So what I do, I write this project title here, I put the date prepared, and I put the work package name as advertising content. Now every work package will have an identification. I put the identification, and I write down the description of work. What is the description of work? You can write that this work package involves in advertising about the job in a popular portal called Indeed. So in that you have to, if that work package has got milestones, first milestone is finalizing the JD. Second milestone is publishing that particular job description on Indeed. And third milestone is requesting Indeed to send them the applications, and you can put them the due dates. Now in this particular section you are going to write down who is doing this. For example, you have formulating the JD. Somebody has to formulate the JD. So who is that person? That person is nothing but HR. Human Resource Department is going to formulate that particular job description. How many hours he or she would require, what is her rate per hour, and what is the total cost. And if she is using any material, I don't think so for formulating the JD you require any material, so nothing comes here, so you get the total cost. Now apart from that, you can also mention the quality requirements. If there are any quality requirements to be satisfied for formulating the JD, then what is the acceptance criteria, what is the technical information and what is the contract information. Suppose if you are outsourcing that particular activity to somebody else, so that means you are contracting that to somebody else, third party, then what is the contract information? That also has to be mentioned in the WBS dictionary. So what does that mean? So all these small work packages you see, budget, options, approval, job, timing, person, all this should have one entry in this particular dictionary, and this dictionary is called as the WBS dictionary. So when you look at this work package name and the name of that work package is advertising content, you should get everything. If you know everything about the advertising content, who is the responsible person who is doing it, when is he starting, when is he ending, what is the total cost which is actually incurred by the organization to perform this particular work package, what is the acceptance criteria. So everything I get to know. And suppose if you are outsourcing this particular WBS dictionary process, not WBS dictionary process, if you are outsourcing that work package to somebody else, then you may have to even mention the contractual information. That is called as a service level agreement. So WBS dictionary plays a vital part in your WBS. So you should have two things. One is you should have a WBS, and that WBS should have a WBS dictionary as well. So what is the work package in project management? As I told you, it contains the nature of work involved, it contains the outcome of the task, it contains geographical location where task takes place, time when task will be completed, technology or materials that will be used, team leaders in charge, and if there are any specific stakeholders. Remember that we spoke about the stakeholder power grid. So now you may have a work package which is actually satisfying the requirement of a particular stakeholder. Now you have to satisfy him. So that means you also have reference to a stakeholder. So nature of the work involved. Nature of the work involved is nothing but the description of the work, what work you are actually doing. Then outcomes of the task. Outcomes of the task are nothing but their milestones or deliverables. Geographical locations where tasks take place. In this case, there is no mention of the geographical location. For example, suppose if you are doing a IT project, you are doing a small package called designing a login screen. That login screen designing is not done in India. It is actually done in US Development Center. So what is the geographical location? The geographical location is the United States Development Center. So you have to mention that geographical location. Time when task will be completed, it is nothing but what is the due dates. Due dates are nothing but when that supposed to be completed, or when it is supposed to be completed means what is the due date of that particular task to be completed. Then technology or materials that will be used, these are nothing but resources. Now I am designing a login screen. What resources I need? I would require a Photoshop, I would require a UI designer, I would require HTML5. So what and all technology resources and human resources you need. So that has to be mentioned here. Then who is the team leader who is in charge of this, and are there any specific stakeholders? If you have to take care of any specific stakeholders, you have to take care of them. So this is nothing but the WBS dictionary. So when you put all the three things together, that is project scope statement plus WBS dictionary, you get something called as a scope baseline. So this completes WBS. Now we have almost done project scope management. So first we understood how to develop a project management plan, then we collected the requirements, then we defined the scope, then we created the WBS. Then we shall see how to define activities, sequence activities, estimate activity resources, and move further. Okay.